13-year-old Kei'Mani Latigue disappeared from her home in Toledo, Ohio. Her father, Darnell Jones, stood in front of the cameras, eyes full of tears, begging for her safe return. The community searched, prayed, and refused to give up. But 6 days later, everything changed. Kei'Mani was found in an abandoned, burned-out house. She wasn't lost. She had been taken. And the person police suspected, the same man who had begged for her to come home. Darnell Jones was no worried father. He was a man with a secret so dark he was willing to do anything to keep it buried. When police tracked him down, he didn't surrender. Gunfire erupted. By the time it was over, Jones was in custody, charged with the unthinkable. A father's love is supposed to protect, but in this case, it did the opposite. This is the story of Kei'Mani Latigue, a little girl who trusted the wrong person. March 18, 2025, Kei'Mani Latigue was home alone in Toledo, Ohio. It was late, the house was quiet, but something didn't feel right. At 11:58 p.m., she called her father, Darnell Jones. She was scared. She told him someone was trying to break in. Her voice shook. She needed him to come. By 12:30 a.m., Jones arrived. He later told police he was just comforting his daughter, just being a good father. But then, Kei'Mani vanished. The next morning, panic set in. Kei'Mani wasn't answering her phone. She hadn't gone to school. Family and friends called, texted, searched. Nothing. A father in distress. A community desperate to help. People printed flyers, knocked on doors, and searched the streets. But while everyone else was looking for Kei'Mani, police were starting to look at Darnell. Because something was off. His story didn't add up. His words didn't match his actions. And the longer Kei'Mani stayed missing, the more suspicious her own father became. And just days later, this grieving father, he wouldn't be pleading for his daughter anymore. He'd be running from police. On March 18, 2025, 13-year-old Kei'Mani Latigue was reported missing in Toledo, Ohio. Her family, friends, and community members immediately launched a search, distributing flyers and canvassing neighborhoods in hopes of finding her. Her father, Darnell Jones, appeared on local news stations, tearfully pleading for her safe return. He recounted how Kei'Mani had called him late at night on March 16th, expressing fear of being home alone, leading him to visit her around 12:30 a.m. As the investigation progressed, authorities began to notice inconsistencies in Jones's statements regarding his activities and Kei'Mani's whereabouts. These discrepancies raised suspicions and shifted the focus of the investigation. On March 24, 2025, 6 days after her disappearance, police discovered Kei'Mani's body on the second floor of an abandoned, fire-damaged house on Miami Street in Toledo. The Lucas County Coroner's Office confirmed her identity and determined that she had died from multiple incised wounds to the neck, ruling her death a homicide. The community was devastated by the news. Vigils were held in Kei'Mani's memory, with many expressing shock and grief over the tragic loss of a young life. As the investigation continued, authorities issued an arrest warrant for Darnell Jones, citing the inconsistencies in his statements and evidence linking him to the crime. On March 25, 2025, Jones was located in Columbus, Ohio. During an attempt to apprehend him, he allegedly pulled a gun on officers, leading to a confrontation in which he was shot and subsequently taken into custody. The case has left the Toledo community in mourning, grappling with the tragic loss of a young girl and the unsettling circumstances surrounding her death. On March 24, 2025, the Toledo community was shaken to its core. 13-year-old Kei'Mani Latigue, who had been missing for nearly a week, was found deceased in an abandoned, fire-damaged house on Miami Street. The circumstances of her death were profoundly disturbing. Autopsy report findings. Cause of death: multiple incised wounds to the neck. Evidence of sexual assault. Hands severed. Near decapitation. Citatern 0 News 17. The brutality of this crime was both shocking and heartbreaking. Kei'Mani was a young girl with her whole life ahead of her, and the violence she endured is unimaginable. In the days following the discovery, authorities turned their attention to Kei'Mani's father, Darnell Jones. Jones had previously appeared on local television, pleading for his daughter's safe return. However, inconsistencies in his statements and emerging evidence led investigators to consider him the primary suspect. An arrest warrant was issued, charging him with murder and abduction. On March 25, 2025, law enforcement officers located Jones in Columbus, Ohio. He was hospitalized and, as of the latest reports, remains in stable condition. The community of Toledo is left grappling with the horror of this tragedy. Vigils have been held in Kei'Mani's memory, and local leaders are calling for a thorough investigation into the circumstances that led to her death. This case serves as a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance and the need to protect our most vulnerable. On March 23, 2025, the Toledo Police Department issued an arrest warrant for 33-year-old Darnell Jones, charging him with abduction in connection to the disappearance of his 13-year-old daughter, Kei'Mani Latigue. Despite extensive efforts, Jones was nowhere to be found. The urgency intensified when, on March 24th, Kei'Mani's lifeless body was discovered in a burned-out, abandoned building in Toledo. The autopsy revealed a horrifying truth: multiple incised wounds to her neck, evidence of sexual assault, and near decapitation. In response, authorities escalated the charges against Jones, issuing a murder warrant and launching a nationwide manhunt. Citatern 0 News 9. 2 days later, on March 25th, law enforcement tracked Jones to Columbus, Ohio. Acting on intelligence, Columbus police SWAT officers located him near the intersection of Denison and 2nd Avenues in the Victorian Village neighborhood. As officers approached around 10 a.m., Jones allegedly produced a firearm and fired at a sergeant. The officers returned fire, striking Jones multiple times. He was apprehended and transported to a local hospital, where he was listed in stable condition. No officers were injured during the confrontation. The community of Toledo was left grappling with the devastating loss of Kei'Mani and the shocking betrayal by her father. Vigils were held in her memory, as residents sought solace and justice for the young life so brutally taken. As the legal proceedings against Darnell Jones unfold, the community remains steadfast in their pursuit of justice for Kei'Mani. This tragic case serves as a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance and the need to protect our most vulnerable. In the days following the tragic loss of 13-year-old Kei'Mani Latigue, the Toledo community has been enveloped in grief and reflection. Kei'Mani's School, a beacon of kindness. At Spring Elementary School, where Kei'Mani was a 7th grader, the halls resonate with memories of a young girl whose kindness left an indelible mark. She was slated to receive a Kindness Award later this week, a testament to her compassionate nature. Additionally, she had recently been honored at the school's Honor Roll Assembly, highlighting her dedication to academic excellence. The shock of Kei'Mani's untimely passing has rippled throughout Toledo. On Tuesday evening, a vigil was held outside the abandoned house on Miami Street where her body was discovered. Hundreds gathered, candles in hand, to pay their respects and seek solace in shared grief. The flickering candlelight illuminated tear-streaked faces, reflecting the profound sorrow felt by all in attendance. Among the mourners was Kei'Mani's mother, whose visible anguish encapsulated the depth of a parent's worst nightmare. Community members, classmates and teachers shared heartfelt stories, painting a picture of a vibrant young girl whose life was tragically cut short. Kei'Mani Latigue, Kei'Mani's former teacher, reminisced about her students' affectionate nature, noting that Kei'Mani greeted her every morning with a hug. That was all she ever truly wanted, was affection, Latigue reflected. This devastating event has prompted city leaders and community members to seek answers and advocate for change. Discussions have emerged regarding the safety of abandoned properties and the need for proactive measures to protect vulnerable youth. Toledo council members are calling for a thorough examination of current policies and the implementation of strategies to prevent such tragedies in the future. As the community grapples with this profound loss, the memory of Kei'Mani serves as a poignant reminder of the imperative to nurture and safeguard our children. Her legacy of kindness and resilience will continue to inspire efforts toward creating a safer and more compassionate environment for all. Kei'Mani Latigue should have celebrated her 14th birthday. Instead, we remember her in candlelight. A bright young girl, full of kindness and promise, taken in the cruelest way imaginable. A community shattered, a mother left with unimaginable grief, and a father, once trusted, now facing justice. But justice doesn't end with a conviction. Justice means making sure this never happens again. It means holding those in power accountable. It means demanding safer communities for our children. Kei'Mani's story should never be forgotten. Share her name, tell her story, and if you believe stories like hers deserve to be told, subscribe and stay informed.